welcome Ashley.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Ashley's going to be one of 56 authors that is going to be at the Festival of Books and Creativity in Novi, Michigan at the end of June. So excited for this event.
Me too. It's actually really local to me, so I was really excited about this one.
Oh, good. I like
hmm
local.
Yeah.
Let's travel. Um, so you have a romance book.
hmm
Please tell us all about it and show us that wonderful cover.
So this I have it right here. This is my cover. It's
No.
called Scars of August.
Mhm.
It is about it's about a love triangle.
Oh.
Um, two best friends from high school were separated for 10 years. And upon the return of one of them to their hometown, things get a little messy
Mhm.
and emotional.
Oh,
And that is what you will find in here.
nice. So, are you an outliner or do you just sit down and write and are more of a pantser?
I'd say I'm an outliner because I'll
Okay.
get kind of an idea of what I want to happen, and kind of just write down the order of how I see things happening. Um, Now, when I actually write the content of what is going to happen, that is not always in order. So I will outline my story, but then
Mhm.
depending on what part of the story seems to flow to me first, um,
Okay.
like I actually wrote some scenes towards the end of this book first, and
Oh.
then kind of filled in the pieces as I went.
Okay. So what inspired you to write a romance book and this particular story?
So I romance in general, I've always just liked to read romance.
Mhm.
I am a fan of reading romance and thrillers. So it depends on my mood. I'm a mood reader. I was reading a lot of romance recently, and I just recently kind of jumped into reading the thriller genre.
Mhm.
And this one specifically actually was inspired by an album by Taylor Swift. I am a
Oh,
fan of her music, and there is one album, Folklore, that has a love triangle in it. Um,
okay.
and that just inspired me to kind of take it and put my own twist on it. So that's where
Mm.
this specific story came from.
Now, do you have more books that are in the works, and are they going to be all romance, or are you going to go into other genres?
Yes, so I do have one other book, my first one actually, which I'm not featuring at the moment because I have plans for that one. Um,
Okay.
but that one is actually it's a romance, but that one kind of crosses over into the thriller genre.
Mhm.
And I am working on another one that follows up this one.
Okay.
And while this one is like more angsty and emotional, the one
Mhm.
I'm working on is kind of more of like a rom com feel.
Okay.
So far, I've done something a little different for each one.
Mhm. Do you have any more do you plan on having this as a second career, or is it just a few books?
I would love to have it as my whole career.
Okay.
My dream, and it's funny, my day job is very supportive. They actually share when I have things going on.
Oh,
But
awesome.
I did warn them that if there was ever an opportunity for me to do this full time, and not work that job anymore, that unfortunately I would take my opportunity.
So what is your day job?
So I am an operations manager for an early childhood program. So
Okay.
we have 15 locations, and I
Oh,
assist them
wow.
in their daily operations. Help them with like their state licensing, write policies and procedures, things like that.
I can understand why you would take the writing career.
Yes, I do love my job, but this is
Mhm.
my dream. So it's definitely one of those things where if this was actually able to provide for me, then 100% this would be what I do.
So there will be many more books coming down the line.
That's the goal. Yes.
Okay. What got you writing in the first place?
Um, that's an interesting question. I mean, I've always been a writer.
Okay.
Even when I was in school, that was like the easiest thing for me to do. I could write an essay in an hour. Like writing and reading was just my subject.
Mhm.
And I always thought about writing a book, and I just feel like for a lot of people, you just don't actually think you could do it.
Mhm.
Um, and for my first one, I actually had a dream of this wild scene. And
Mhm.
then the next morning, I had emailed it to my best friend at the time, and I was like, I feel like I need to get this off my chest. I don't know what it is about this, but this is the dream that I had. Um, and we talked about it, and that turned into a book.
So what are you doing with that first book? You said you're not featuring it at the event, so because you're doing something with that book. Can you elaborate on that?
So I am hoping to revisit and kind of remaster it.
Okay.
Being my first book, I've learned a lot along the way, and
Mhm.
there are just some minor things that I would like to change. Not to the story itself.
Yeah.
So for my readers who have read that one, they won't be missing out on anything. But I would like to just kind of revisit it and then
Mhm.
give it kind of the love that it deserves.
Uh,
When I first published my first book,
mhm.
maybe it was a little bit of that imposter syndrome, but nobody knew I was doing it, and I did not promote it. I just kind of was like, surprise, I wrote a book, please read it. Um, this one, the process for this one has been totally different. I've done so many things, and I've been promoting it and pushing it. Um, and I would really like to give my first book that same kind of attention.
Okay.
So that's kind of my plan, is once I'm able to focus on that, I would love to just let it have its moment.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mhm.
So what do you like to do in your spare time when you're not writing and you're not working?
Well, reading. Um,
Mhm. I should always add that one in.
yeah. But besides those things, I just love being outside.
Mhm.
So taking my dog for walks, or honestly, just sitting in my backyard, probably
Mhm.
also reading and writing while I'm doing that. um, but just being outside, which is why this time of year is um, just glorious to me, because when if I'm just not having a good day, sometimes literally just sitting outside makes me feel better.
So what kind of dog do we have and what's its name?
She is a pit bull. She is a small little thing.
Okay.
We got her thinking that she was going to be big. And she has not grown since she was 6 months old. So
Oh, wow.
she doesn't even come up to my knees. She's just a small little cute thing, and her name is Harley.
Aw.
She's normally in here with me, so she must be with my daughter because I don't see her anywhere.
Ah, okay. So what do you have? Do you have actual dates that you have for your next books?
Not
What?
yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Nope. Not, I'm still working on it. This one just released in March.
Okay.
So I'm working on it. I do have a deadline with my editor that I'm hoping to have it done by. Um, so we'll see if she gets the full version or if she just gets whatever I have up until then. Um,
Okay.
I am hoping, I would love to release it sometime this calendar year. I'm just
Hmm.
not sure yet, so I'm not comfortable enough giving it a date.
I know how that goes because the minute you put a date on it, then
Yes.
especially when you tell people, then you have to stick to that date.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And my worst case timeline just for me would
hmm,
be next March.
okay,
Only because this is not my full time job and I do it on the side. My first book took me 2 years.
okay,
This one took me about a year and a half. So in my mind, I'm like, if I could shave 6 more months off and do it in a year, then that would be an improvement. So we'll see.
Okay.
See.
And then you'll get the next book in this. Now, is that a series follow up to this one, or no? Or are they all standalones?
So it's going to be like an interconnected standalone.
Okay.
It is a follow up to this one, but focusing on different characters, not the main characters in this story.
So you have all of them interconnected. Um, do you have like a master list of all of your characters then? And what does that list look like?
I don't have a master list.
Oh.
But that's a great idea. No. So
What?
what I'm looking at with what I'm working on is the best friends of the main
Mhm.
characters in this one. So
Okay.
they are characters that you get kind of a small peek of in this book, but then
Mhm.
you're going to really get to know in the next book.
Okay. So what software do you use to write with?
I just write in Microsoft Word.
Okay.
Yeah, it's what I was most comfortable with.
Mhm.
And I learned how to format it and everything right in Microsoft Word. So
Okay.
I just haven't felt the need to try anything else. I know there's
Yeah.
lots of things out there,
Oh, a
um,
lot.
but I'm comfortable with it and it works for me. So yeah, I just use Microsoft Word.
Yeah, I can understand just sticking with Microsoft Word. Um, with characters, you don't have one source for your characters. How do you then make sure that those characters are going to be the same as in book one and then in this follow-up book?
Um, I just go back and forth a lot and just make sure
Okay.
that looking through the first book as I'm writing down character traits or like a certain way that they're acting in the next book, I'll just kind of go back and reference it to make sure it fits
Mhm.
the way that I described their personality in the first place.
Okay.
To make sure that it's just all lining up together.
Okay. So I was just looking at your bio, and it says that you have 3 kids and 3 cats and a
Hmm.
spoiled dog.
Hmm. Yes, we have 3 cats because I used to consider myself a cat person.
Mhm.
Um, Gosh, our cats are 5 years old now, I think.
Okay.
Um, and we recently got our dog. She just turned
Mhm.
a year old, so
Okay.
we've not even had her for a full year yet.
Mhm.
Um, and the difference between the cat's personalities and the dog's personalities are huge. And I'm not sure that our cats have still yet to forgiven us for bringing this puppy home.
They probably have not.
No, so they kind of stick to themselves for the most part, unless they're hungry. We don't see them or hear from them very often.
Yeah, they're mad.
Mhm.
Do your pets make their way into your books?
There are pets in both my books.
Okay.
Not my pets, I would say.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think about the first one. Actually, the first one had a dog, and I
Okay.
didn't have a dog at the time. But this
Mhm.
one of the characters does have a cat and a dog, but not the same kind of cat and dog I have. So they
Okay.
do have pets, but not my pets exactly.
Okay. Because I know sometimes people write about they include their pets into their writing actually more than their own family.
Well, it is interesting. So my dog,
Mhm.
um, both my husband's brothers also got a puppy from the same litter.
Mhm.
So our 3 families have siblings, and one of them was named Rex, And it wasn't until I had gone back and was like editing my story that I realized that the dog in my story's name was Rex. And so some of our family members who read my story might think I did that on purpose, but I did not. That was just a pure coincidence that the dog in my story was named Rex, and then my brother in law ended up naming his dog Rex. So that
Oh,
was kind of cool.
that is interesting. Because I know sometimes you end up naming characters after some
Hmm.
people. Have you do any of your characters have any connection with people that you know in real life?
Some of them, yes. And again, kind of sort of not on purpose.
Oh, okay.
So the main character in this story, one of them, there's three. Her name is Autumn. I
Mhm.
do have a cousin named Autumn. The other main character's name is Becca. I have an aunt named Becca. Um, and the male main character's name is Jimmy, and I have an uncle named Jimmy. But that's not where those names came from.
Where did your names come from? How did you come up with those names?
So those three main characters, it
Mhm.
was kind of a twist on the love triangle characters from that Taylor Swift album. Um,
Ah.
the characters in that love triangle were James, August, and Betty.
Ah.
And so
Yep.
in my story, they were Jimmy, Autumn, and Becca.
I can see the close connection without using the originals.
Yeah, and my so I will say that my cousin Autumn, that one would be the one that was on purpose. She actually was part of my writing process, and she helped me with some of the ideas and the story flow and like reading through it. So
Mhm.
hers was on purpose, and I gave her a little shout out in my acknowledgement page.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but it wasn't. I didn't choose it just because it was her name.
Okay. A happy coincidence.
Yes.
So is your family really supportive in your writing and all of that?
Yes. So my husband is super supportive.
Okay.
He knows nothing. So we're the opposite. He is like 100% great in math and science, hates reading and writing. And I'm the
Okay.
opposite. I will read and write all day long by choice. And I do not like math or science. But he just listens to all my ramblings. Like as I've learned more about this process and started getting more into like the marketing, which I
Mhm.
didn't do the first time. Um, Planning and booking things for this book tour that I've been trying to travel around and go and do. He's just been the greatest listening ear, even though that I know half the time he probably doesn't know what I'm talking about.
That's
And
okay.
he the last event I actually had, he went with me.
Mm.
Sometimes he can go with me, sometimes he doesn't because we have kids. So, but he went with me the last time, and the whole time he was just like, he's like, readers are really like it's a whole community. I said, yeah,
Mhm.
it's not just me. We went to a book fair for grown-ups,
Mhm.
which was really cool. I was a vendor there, and there was like 300 people. And so
Nice.
that's when he was like, wow, like there's a lot of people that read like you. I said there's way more than you even realize. But yes, this is not just a me thing.
So
But yeah,
will any of them be joining you at the event in June?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I will have someone there with me to help. I just haven't exactly figured out logistics. But it would be him or one of my sisters probably.
And how old are your children?
So I have three, but one of them is technically almost 20 and he's moved out. So
Ah.
we have two at home that are 14 and about to be 12.
Ooh, those are interesting ages.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a brand new baby adult, and then a brand new baby teenager. And then
I like that.
our,
Brand
our
new baby
youngest,
adult.
yes. And our youngest, who is our only girl, she's in that preteen. I think I'm a teenager
Ooh.
stage. So yes, it's a fun time.
So you can't get them to come with you?
My daughter would love to.
Mhm.
She is very interested in the process, and she keeps asking
Oh.
me if I could help her write a book.
Oh,
So
nice.
she would definitely come if I wanted to or needed her to. The boys not quite as interested, but yeah, she would 100%.
Well, awesome. I cannot wait to meet you in person at the end of June. And thank you for taking some time out of your day to join me for this broadcast.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited about it too.
See you in June.
All right, thanks.